Moisturising our face and body is quite a difficult activity to do, and it's one that I again get frequently asked, especially as we go into supporting adults and young people to become independent. The first sensory system, which I'm going to talk about here, is probably the one that I might not necessarily start with, but actually it's probably one of the most impactful sensory systems for people with sensory processing disorder. That's our sense of smell. If someone's hypersensitive to smell, they are highly likely to find moisturising their body very difficult. Lots of moisturisers have smells, have scents, have aromas, have additives which will be smelly. If you're smearing something all over your body and that scent is just too overwhelming for you, you are not going to want to do that activity. You are not going to want to do that. So for some people, let's think about, can we remove the smell? Can we use a moisturiser which doesn't have a scent in it? And that may well help. For people who are hypersensitive to smell, if you have a smell on you for the whole of your day, it can be incredibly overwhelming. They might feel really sick, they might feel dizzy, they might have headaches. In some situations, I've known people to have migraines from smell. So it's really important that if we feel someone might be sensitive to or overwhelmed by smell, we really need to try and reduce the amount of smells within an environment. Another reason might be relating to proprioception, so body awareness. So the actual activity is quite difficult for them to do, maybe because they need to have some alerting exercises to tell them where their body is before they can moisturise themselves. You can maybe use a mirror, that might help, but again, remember that for people who are hypersensitive to visual information, that might be too overwhelming and can be incredibly painful. For people who are hypersensitive to proprioceptive information, so they're already receiving lots of information to tell them where their body is in space, that again, adding moisturiser, feeling their parts of their body, their hands and their arms and their face, can be giving them too much information, so it can be very overwhelming. Think about calming strategies that you can do beforehand to be able to help them to become familiar with moisturising themselves. When we moisturise our body, we might bend over. When we bend over, we're giving ourselves a lot of vestibular input. When our head moves, we're giving ourselves that sense of movement and in relationship to gravity. So it might be that we can support someone by them sitting down, and we can teach them how to moisturise themselves, maybe starting with their legs or their hands, and then as they become more confident with that, we can start with different parts of the body. I guess the most common reason why some people with sensory processing disorder will find moisturising their body difficult is relating to tactile. So hypersensitivity to tactile information might be the way that the moisturiser feels on their skin. It might feel sticky, it might feel cold, so don't forget about temperature, slimy, soft. Some people might seek that rough sensation, so maybe you can try and get more of an exfoliating moisturiser, which will feel nicer for their skin. So for people who seek out that extra tactile sensations, you can find moisturisers that will give them that feeling, and they might really, really enjoy it. So for people who are hypersensitive, so going back to how it might feel on the skin, you will probably have some kind of tactile support strategy in place. So you might have a brushing program. I would suggest that you will do the brushing program before you moisturise. If not, then maybe do some activities where you are helping them to deep pressure squeezes, helping them to be exposed to tactile sensations. I know a lot of people that don't like water or find water very difficult to be introduced to, so lots of activities where we're being engaged with water. Water can be provided in different ways. It might fall from a tap. Some people are okay then putting their hands under water from a tap, or maybe they feel better with the putting hands in a water bowl. Think about ways that we can offer a moisturising activity which don't necessarily have to be us scooping out the moisturiser from a tub and putting on our skin. Maybe we can just soak our hands in the moisturiser, soak our feet in the moisturiser without the need to rub it where we are, giving ourselves extra tactile sensations.